Today we're talking about the best places to live in Nashville. I get that question all the time. As a native Nashvilleian, people know that I know the entire city. As a realtor, they know I know the entire city inside and out. So I'm often asked, what are the 5 best places to live in Nashville? Now, if you've been watching this channel long, you've been to a lot of places with me. But the 5 best places to live in Nashville, and this is not going to be my personal opinion, because as you know, realtors cannot direct people to an area. That's really against the law. So what I'm using is the information from niche.com. And niche.com checks neighborhoods based against an entire list of priorities: schools, best places for family, home prices, crime stats, parks, recreation, things to do, food, restaurants, all the things that go into deciding whether a community is right for you. Niche.com grades cities and neighborhoods and communities on the whole scope of things, puts it all together and comes up with ratings. And the top 5 neighborhoods or suburbs, these are all together, of Nashville, the top 5, according to niche.com, is exactly what we're talking about today. I think you'll be surprised when you see the number 1. As I say, niche.com is who's deciding which are the top 5. So don't come after me. Especially don't come after me when one of my top 5 is not number 1 or number 2. Everybody's got the parameters, and which is why you can't generally say. Every area is very specific to what you want in an area. If you want a really, really urban place with walking distance to restaurants and bars and shopping, and you want to be part of the hustle bustle, and you want to be close to football, if you want that, then your number 1 spot is certainly not going to be the number 1 spot of the person who is looking for the best schools and huge playgrounds and parks for their kids to play in, who doesn't care at all about some of the things that the urban person wants. But the person who wants arm's length and several acres isn't gonna like being right here next to the hospitals, exactly where I am, because it's kind of noisy right here. But again, your best is not my best, and that's why we need to talk. If you're considering a move to Nashville, Tennessee, then you need to talk about what is it that you exactly specifically want, and then we can come up with the 5 best neighborhoods for you and your situation. Till then, we're going to listen to what niche.com has to say. So let's take a look at the rankings of the 5 best places to live in the Nashville area, according to niche.com. And I want to make you know, none of these places, well, that's not true. 5, 4, and 3, I've done several videos about these areas, but when you get to number 2 and number 1, I'm going to surprise you. You've never heard of them. I guarantee it. So stick around to the end, because you don't want to miss out on what is the number 1 and 2 place, according to niche.com, best places to live in Nashville. Going in opposite order of best, number 5 is Nolensville. Nolensville comes in with an A+ rating from niche.com. Nolensville, Tennessee is in Williamson County. It is on the eastern side of Williamson County, so it's very well situated between Interstate 65 going north-south and Interstate 24, which would take you on down toward Chattanooga area. So it has easy access between those 2 interstates to many parts of Tennessee and Lower Tennessee. So Nolensville is ranked as the number 2 best place to raise a family. It is part of a suburb. Nolensville is a suburb of Nashville in Williamson County. So as I say, some of these are really truly suburbs of the county, and some are going to be areas of Davidson County. Nolensville has a population of about 10,000 people. Living in Nolensville gives you a very rural feeling, but easy access to a lot of the amenities. Most residents own their own homes, and they tend to lean to being very conservative. It's a very family-friendly area with really top-rated schools. The median household income is $135,000. Now, of the homes that are on the market today, the median home value is $455,000. The median rent is $2,263 a month. There are a total of 329 homes on the market, and this is very misleading because it looks as though there's a lot of homes on the market. There's a lot of homes that are planned and maybe permitted to be built, but many of these you're going to see if you look through RealTracs or if you look through some of the services that you might be looking at, Zillow something, it's plans of a home to be built. Or it's going to be pictures of a home that is built, and this plan would look similar to it. But they are really, for the most part, not starting homes as spec homes until they're under contract. Of those homes that are on the market, the least expensive is $383,000. It's a townhome. It's a 2-car garage, 1,800 square foot home to be built. Another one of those townhomes to be built, 2 bedrooms, 2 full baths. Now, again, I'm going to tell you a nuance, and this is purely me talking here. This Nolensville has a great rating because of the schools. Well, it's one of the many reasons that gives it a high grading scale on niche.com. But when you get to Nolensville, there are some areas with really great schools and some areas with lesser grade schools. And this particular townhome is in one of the lesser great school areas. And again, that's not me talking, that is going to great schools. So again, research. A lot of research is necessary for these. Pricing does often go according to how good the schools are. But that's a $382,000 townhome in Nolensville. And if you want more information, I'm happy to give it to you. Now, the most expensive property in that area is priced at $1,570,000. That's sitting on a half of an acre. The home was built in 2021, so it's a brand new home with a 3-car garage. It has a school rating of this home at 10 over 10. So what you can see is, even though we're in the same town of Nolensville, different areas of these communities have better schools than others. Overall, Nolensville comes in number 5 with an A+ rating. Coming in at number 4 on the niche.com ratings of best places to live near Nashville is Franklin, Tennessee. Now, you've seen me do some videos about Franklin as well, so it's not new to you, and go ahead and check it out in case you need to know some more information. But Franklin comes in again with an A+ rating, ranked as the 4th best to live. The population is approximately 80,000. Franklin gives you a dense suburban feel where most residents do own their own homes. There's a lot of restaurants, coffee shops, parks, historical monuments. It's a really beautiful area. Families do tend to run conservative here in Franklin. It is also in Williamson County, approximately 15 miles from Brentwood, maybe 25 minutes from downtown Nashville Drive, straight up 65. The median home value is $412,000. Median rents are running at $1,600. Frankly, both of those are really low. I think these stats come in from 2 years ago, and there's been quite a difference here, as there has been in many different areas of the country. Today, RealTracs shows 600 homes on the market. Again, please don't be confused. There's a lot of homes that are supposed to be under construction. The permits are pulled that they can be built. You know, the road, water, sewer's in, so a builder is ready to build your home, but they're not out of the ground yet. So you're looking at maybe 6 to more probably 9 to 12 months because of the shortages throughout the country of supplies. That's what's happening here in Nashville as well. The least expensive home on the market right now is a 1-bedroom, 1-bath condominium priced at $318,000. It's about 950 square feet. The most expensive home is, this is such a cool house. You need to see this. Look at these pictures just because it's really amazing. It's a historic log home built in 1850s along the Sam Morton log home style. It is priced at $9,995,000, not quite $10 million. It is priced high, but you've got to understand it's on 135 acres, 135 quintessential rolling hillside, perfect motif of Middle Tennessee hillside. It's gorgeous. It has a spring-fed stocked pond, historic 13-stall barn. It is one gorgeous farm. What would be really cool, and I know of a couple musicians who have taken these barns that were just amazing with 20-foot ceilings, and taken these barns and turned them into the recording studios. I know one or two that are exquisite, and I'm just aching to see this happen to this one because it's so pretty. This farm will only cost you a mere, right at $10 million. Williamson County, beautiful. Williamson County comes in at number 4 of the top places to live in the Middle Tennessee area, according to niche.com. Coming in at number 3 is a place that you've heard me speak of many times already here in this video, Brentwood, Tennessee. Brentwood, Tennessee is right south of the Davidson County line. Brentwood is in Williamson County. All 3 of these that we've talked about is in Williamson County, actually. Niche.com ranks Brentwood as number 3 is in the best places to live. It is a suburb of Nashville. Last census says it has a population of about 43,000 people. It's got more than that. But Brentwood is never going to grow hugely because it doesn't have a lot of rental property. So it doesn't have condominiums and it doesn't have apartments for the most part. So what you've got is larger lot sizes. There's just no room to grow in the city of Brentwood itself. So that population is going to stay small, which again is one of the reasons that the pricing is so high. The pricing is high, and that's one of the reasons that it was downgraded, I believe, in niche.com. But we can take a look at this. Brentwood offers residents a very rural feel. Most own their own homes. It's a good place for shopping, restaurant, groceries, tons of parks. The residents who live here do tend to lean conservatively, politically speaking. The Brentwood schools are very highly rated. Less than 9% of the people who live in Brentwood rent their properties. Over 91% own their own property. The median price home is $655, and I really think that's low. When you find something at that price point, it's going to be a home on probably about an acre. It would have been built in the 50s to 70s, and it needs some updating in all probability. But it has the larger lot. There's always going to be trade-offs. Always going to be trade-offs. The lowest price home right now is a home, again, to be built, priced at $485,000. It is about 1,700 square feet, 3 bedrooms, 2 baths. It is, as I say, to be built. And the upgrades, the pictures that you're seeing here, have a lot of upgrades. It would certainly not be the basic townhome at that price. There would be lots of other upgrades involved with it. If you get one fully looking beautiful like this one, so that's just something to keep in mind. It would probably push it certainly into the low 500 price point. The most expensive home right now is right at $3.7 million here in Brentwood. It's a 6-bedroom, 9 half-bath home, 9,200 square feet. It's on a 1-acre home site, which is, again, more typical in Brentwood than most areas that you're going to find, especially as you go closer into town. And it was built in 1999. Brentwood has such a high rating, I believe, because the schools are just so good, both public and there are a lot of private schools that are really highly rated there too, but you don't need to go to the private schools to get a really top-notch education. Check out the niche.com ratings. I actually had a couple who moved here with their children. They'd been in private schools. They thought they wanted to keep them in private schools. They started off in a private school in that area and very quickly realized they didn't need to have that to get a top-notch education. They could put their children in the Brentwood city schools, love it, and not having to pay that extra big amount of tuition to give their kids a good education. So that's one of the reasons that niche.com ranks it as highly as it does as an A+. One of the reasons that I think it downgrades it is because of the cost. Again, the algorithm of putting all the factors together, that's what makes Brentwood, Tennessee come in number 3. Coming in at number 2, the best places to live in the Nashville area is a total shock to me. It's an area that really was just an area until about 10 years ago. And we started kind of naming different areas. Sylvan Heights was never called Sylvan Heights until a couple years ago. Sylvan Park has always been called that. So what we've got is we as realtors kind of named different sections of town as people were interested in them and kind of wanting to know where you were, other than just Nashville. Coming in at number 2, you have never heard this out of my mouth, Hope Gardens. Hope Gardens is very close to downtown Nashville. It has an urban feel where most people do own their own homes. It's a population of only 1,300, so it's tiny. And again, you're not going to find this on the map labeled as Hope Gardens. Just want to give you a warning. It has tons of coffee shops, and this is where many young professionals who are moving into Tennessee, moving into Nashville, want to be close into downtown. Many are moving to because of the pricing is reasonable. So close and accessible to all the fun things that everybody wants to do downtown. And there's a lot of newer homes. It was a very old area. A lot of homes have been torn down, and you're finding a lot of the newer construction homes. This is very close to the Bicentennial Mall, the Fountain, which is a fun place to take your children to, the huge farmers market, very close to the football and the baseball stadiums. It's in the middle of everything. So it's a very, very urban feel in contrast to the other 3 that I've already mentioned. It's about 50-50 is how many people own their own homes or rent. There are only 4 homes currently on the market. Again, this is a tiny area. But as I say, most of the homes now that are coming up and really growing that people are enjoying are new homes. The most expensive home on the market is priced at $699,000. It's a 3-bedroom, 3-bath, 2,100 square foot new build on very narrow lots, because that's what's happened. Some people call them the tiny homes. It's not tiny. Some people call them the tall skinnies. They are tall and thin because they're on very narrow lots. And to get that much house on one lot, it's tall and thin. It's a tall skinny. Price at $699,000. The only least expensive home on the market, really, that's not just one of those newer ones in the mid-600s, is a lot priced at $160,000. Now, this lot would have been an older home on it that just didn't have bones that were felt to be worth keeping or renovating. So the home was torn down, and the builder will build a house for someone, and the lot price is $160,000. Hope Gardens comes in with an overall niche grade of A+. Again, this comes in because of the pricing, the proximity to town, the urban growth. If you are somebody with a family who wants more of a rural feel, who wants more quiet and peace, who is looking for really good public schools, this is probably not for you. If you are a young, fun-loving, new career, move to Nashville, want to take in everything that downtown Nashville offers, have the fun vibe, easy access to great schools, restaurants, all that type of thing, Hope Gardens may be your perfect spot. And coming in at number 1 is an area that you're never going to find on the map unless you look really, really close. It truly is not, it's just an area that gets you down toward downtown. Number 1, according to niche.com, with an A+ rating, Elliston Place. That's the place that we used to go downtown to. It's near the hospitals. It's very close to, almost Midtown is really what it is. It's where we used to go for music venues when I was growing up, to the Exit Inn and a lot of places that were a lot of fun. It's right there at Centennial Park, right off of West End. It has a very urban feel. Most people rent their homes. There are a lot of apartments, a lot of condominiums, and they're new because everybody wants to move in toward town. Again, it's the new, cool, hip, fun vibe, actually busy, into everything. That's going to be the vibe of this area. It's close to Vanderbilt, walking distance. It's close to shopping. It's close to hospitals, foods, restaurants, bars. Get downtown in a nanosecond. It's very much there, right there. A lot of people, again, new career people moving into the Middle Tennessee area, wanting to be downtown, wanting to be a part of the whole social vibe, are going to love the Elliston Place area. 98% of the people who live here rent. Only 2% own. The median rent price is right at about $1,700. And frankly, again, that's low, especially if you're looking at some of the new construction. And there's a lot of new construction. I'm sure you've heard about Nashville having so many cranes in the sky that it's almost looking like, our national bird now. That's one of the areas that so much growth has come in. The Hope Gardens area, the Elliston Place area, the West End downtown area. lots of new condos, lots of new apartments. And because of that, the new apartments are going to be more expensive. Just don't want you to think you can find inexpensive apartments to rent. There are currently 105 homes available on the MLS system to purchase in Elliston Place. The least expensive is priced about $275,000. It is a 1-bedroom, 1-bath condominium. The most expensive home on the market today is priced at $1.88 million. It is in a historic registry home that, again, you've got to understand, Nashville grew away from the river. So this area, the Elliston Place area, would have really been a booming area for homes 1920s, 1940s. And then people started progressing, moving further and further out. There's some great restaurants that have been converted, or homes that have been converted to restaurants. There's homes that have been converted to office buildings. But for the most part, you're not going to find a whole lot of older things now. I've just seen where an entire block with one of my favorite old-timey burger joints, Rotier's, is getting ready to go down, and a whole block is going down, and a new steel, beautiful glass high-rise building is going up. So niche.com gives this an A+ rating. It's a great rating for someone who, again, wants to take advantage of everything new, hip, exciting, fun, restaurants, bars, all the downtown things. I don't see it as a great place for somebody with children. You do have the access to Centennial Park and some beautiful things, but drive in. Come on into Centennial Park to see it. But I don't see this as a great place for families. Just me. Maybe you disagree.
So tell me, were you totally shocked? I truly was when niche.com said that the Elliston Place area is the #1 spot. Now, first I got to tell you, if you ask anybody in Nashville, we would never have come up with Elliston Place as being an entire area in and itself anyway. So that's one thing you got to realize. Neighborhoods sometimes have names, sometimes really don't. It's just a generalized area that we do know. So I was shocked, but that's a perfect spot for a young career person who's wants all the activities, all the nightlife, and is looking for a glamorous kind of place to live, has some extra money, and that's the perfect place for them, according to niche.com. What do you think? I'd love to know more about what it is that you want in a home in the Middle Tennessee area. And do what everybody else is doing. Give me a call, give us a text. Let me know how I can help you in your search for your perfect home in Middle Tennessee.